Welcome back for a new unboxing video, and it's officially here. Universes Beyond Final Fantasy. With that said, I picked up last night from my local card store, got in some stuff, and this time we are going to be checking out for the pre-release, and also surprisingly had at the same store a bundle, so I picked one of these up, as well as I was unable to find online a reasonable price for one of these, so I had to go at the local store. But this time we'll check out the pre-release. Music in the background is from Final Fantasy VIII, of course. And, well, this is a Final Fantasy set, so I figured it makes sense to use Final Fantasy music. Also, really dig that combination of symbols from both things, which is cool. Enter the Call of the Crystals. Okay, that is pretty awesome. The actual artwork looking like classic original. Trying to open this. Well, unfortunately I damaged the art, but still, that is legit really cool. From the very first Final Fantasy artwork. Plus, I like the little token things you get to pick out. That is really cool. And here's our dice, basically just black and purple with the FF. Ooh, that's cool. Got the special ed promo. It's Vincent, so that's definitely pretty cool looking. Even the divider is really cool. And for what I understand, unfortunately, is there's actually apparently no code in these pre-releases for some odd reason. And here's the big part, though. Six packs. But the Vincent promo is definitely a nice one. And one cool thing about these are, in case you may not know the reference to the card, it also gives at the very bottom the logo number of the game. That way you know which Final Fantasy it's actually from. Come on. Okay. First up, we got Final Fantasy VIII. Or, sorry, Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy IX. Final Fantasy VII. Of course. Dang. 3 so far from 9. Final Fantasy 13, which I never really played much of 13. Outside of 13-2. Blitzball. Cool. Ooh, I definitely like this. Final Fantasy 12. Which definitely has a very distinctive art style. That's a pretty cool card. Technically, not a rare, but still really cool. Good old 6. Final Fantasy 2. And what is the first pull? Next card. And this is, yep. And then the back is part of a bigger. And here's the first pull. From Final Fantasy 14, which I've not played. Ooh, foil, Lionheart. As an uber fan of Squaw and 8, that's awesome. I expect to take just a little bit longer to do this, just because this being my first batch opening of the set. Final Fantasy 8. Ooh, the classic T-Rex from the garden. $14. That explains why I don't recognize the creature. Final Fantasy 1. Ooh, I really like that classic art from Final Fantasy 4. That is pretty sweet art. I'm definitely digging these special cards. Oh, Lord, Tonberry. Final Fantasy 9, main protagonist. Definitely seeing a lot of 9. And our next pull from 14. Full art, pretty sweet. Amazing how much I've gotten so far from 9. I would like to actually pull more Final Fantasy 8 stuff, would be nice. Of course, Ramen from 15. Ooh, summons from Final Fantasy 14. Still reminds me of some from Final Fantasy 7. Ah, yes, Diamond Weapon. Very annoying to fight. Ooh, the Emperor. And I can tell there's a foil. But pretty cool. Emperor from Final Fantasy 2. Got a Chocobo. And, ooh, nice. That's pretty cool. And it's a mythic. So that's pretty nice. So far, I think it's turning out to be a pretty decent. So far, it turned out looks like being a pretty nice pre-release. Omega. Yes, this is a pretty cool looking card with its ability. Costs 1 to bring out. Then you can do either use 0 additional mana, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn, or pay 2. Then you get double target creature power and toughness until end of turn. And then 7, target creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Triple. That's also really nice. Do that on the cactus, you could end up doing like 30,000 damage. Ooh, that's cool. I'm digging the treatments. Fun to go after this, but I'm going to start speeding up a little. Moogle. Ah, awesome. Finally, some for Final Fantasy VIII representation. Ooh, very nice. This is turning out to be pretty good. Genova. And while we get in the last one, Kefka. Again, 7. Huh. Yes. The guard from... Oh, okay, that is some sweet art. Also, underrated boss. Or rather, underrated main villain. X-Death. Which is an insanely hard fight in Final Fantasy V. Ooh. Okay. And that's that. That's what I pulled. With that said, I'll see y'all next time and stay safe out there. But I think a pretty decent first opening.